Hello, it's me, EBIB, and today I am going to make myself angry on purpose because while I have not been on this earth for a long time, one of the things I have learned about being alive is that there are other people who are also alive and that those people often have very stupid opinions about things I care about, particularly books, which people lack any type of literacy about. Today, what I am going to do is read Goodreads reviews about books I care about deeply, or that I have read, or just that I have read. Bad books that other people like, or good books that other people don't like. For the purpose of trying to save some of my sanity, I am going to just ignore any review that openly admits to having not read the book or not having finished a book, because people like to do that. People like to not finish a book and be like, nothing was resolved. Yeah, girl, the book isn't done yet. You have to finish it to find out. So I'm just going to ignore any reviews like that. Forgive me. To start, to kind of work up my adrenaline, I am going to I'm going to read reviews of books that I do like, and then after that, books I don't, because I feel like that'll really set the mood. So, Carmilla. Partially, I read this a little bit ago. Me and my friend Zoe annotate books for each other, and then we send them to each other, and then we read it, and then we do it over and over and over again. Carmilla is a book that she read and annotated for me. I have it. See, she's an artist. She can draw. Zoe, you know, if you look, Zebius, look it up, follow, subscribe, watch all of our videos. Anywho, so I read this a while ago. I really liked it. And then last night I watched Nosferatu. I'm in a vampire mood, so we're reading it today, the reviews. I really liked Carmilla. I have basically only good things to say about it. I am the resident expert on all things English, so if I say something, believe me. First of all, it's got 3.87 stars, too low. Should be a 4 at least. So let's see. What if she's the devil? At least the devil has a job. At least she's active in the community. What do you do? Original queer-coded hot villain. This is not queer-coded. This is gay. It's a gay book, objectively. British Gothic. Nevertheless, life and death are mysterious states, and we know. Why are people writing essays? This person just commented 3.75. This person just commented 3.75. They're gay. They've always been gay. Twilight was literally the first vampire story that wasn't gay. Unless it was. I don't know. I didn't read it. Dracula was our pioneering gay male vampire story. Carmilla, which predates it by some 20 years, is our pioneering lesbian one. This guy knows what he's talking about. It's for you to be wrong. Be wrong. I'm a simple girl. I heard it's a gothic vampire sapphic romance set in 1872, and I was sold. Not a romance. People, I don't know, I hear sometimes on the internet when people talk about Carmilla, they talk about it like it's a romance, which it isn't, objectively speaking. It's a gothic horror novel about an innocent girl who is manipulated by a vampire. It condemns homosexuality. That's kind of the whole point of vampires in a way, is they are monsters. They exist to scare people away from doing things. They are of the devil, they do things that are of the devil, but they are gay, and then they make others around them think gay thoughts, and then they're like, what? Why am I thinking gay thoughts? These thoughts, they are of the devil? So it's not a romance. It is very much a story about an innocent woman being manipulated by a vampire into doing things that are of the devil. And I don't know, it is, to this person's defense, written from Laura's perspective, and Laura is being manipulated into feeling romantic feelings about Carmilla, and therefore writes about Carmilla in a very romantic way, which is what I find so interesting about the story, is how the reader is kind of drawn into this emotion of reading it as a romance and kind of interpreting it as a romance and interpreting it in the same way that Laura was experiencing everything and feeling everything, which is a very interesting writing choice, instead of going, and she was being manipulated. Like, you can see that she's being manipulated, but you are being manipulated too, in a way. And that's what makes me like the story so much, is that aspect of it. And even at the end of the story, Laura's like questioning how Carmilla could have been evil, because she loved Carmilla, because Carmilla manipulated her into falling in love with her. It's a very good story, and the fact that people misinterpret it as a romance is very likely by design. And I think it's very cool. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know. I could be wrong, but who knows? Is very easily my favorite classical novel of all time. My favorite books of all time. I love The Picture of Dorian Gray very deeply. I think a lot of things about it. 4.25. We're back at it. 4.25. Can we just thing about any classic is that I'll only read it voluntarily if it has strong homoerotic undertones. Why? Hey, read them all. I wanted to like this more than I did, but I felt like it would have been a fantastic short story. Instead, it was filled with unnecessary description and dialogue common for the time to make it longer. The premise was unique. However, the characters were classist, sexist, and self-involved to a point of distraction. It dragged at times and struggled to get back on plot. However, that being said, I enjoyed the idea of the story and would be interested in one of the many screen-adapted versions. It was sexist, classist, and self-involved to a point of distraction. That is a very important thing to bring up. I noticed that too when I first read the book, and then what you have to realize is that one of the only characters in the book that is truly classist, sexist, and self-involved, okay, well, they're all kind of self-involved. Vanity is, in a way, if you're going to be vain, you're going to be self-involved. More importantly, with the classism and the sexism, the point of Lord Henry's character is kind of, to which I missed at first. I'm saying this like I was like, it's like I'm some, like, genius, but I completely missed this at first. Lord Henry as a character exists to be made fun of. He exists to kind of be like, this is the way of the world, this is how everything works, and what he's saying is just so stupid and boisterous and preposterous that anyone would read it and be like, what's this guy even talking about right now, dude? What is this guy even talking about right now? What is he saying? But he's so self-involved and, like, deluded in his own thinking, and that's the entire point of his character is kind of just to like throw shade at these ideas and throw like the entire, like everything he says is so like self-involved and made up, and yet what he says is what ultimately derails the entire, is what unrails Dorian's entire life. Like it is very much in a way, the way I see it is that the harm of what Lord Henry is saying, well, most people hear him speak and say, "This idiot, what is he talking about?" Dorian hears what he's saying and kind of at first is like, haha, and then he starts taking it to heart. And in taking it to heart, he becomes a worse and worse person over time. And in a way, it kind of says, this is the danger of influence and stuff like that. I haven't really, that part of the book I'm not as clear on, and I'm not as confident on, but there is a very important reason that there is such heavy sexism and classism in this book, and self-involvement is a very important part of the book. The book wouldn't be the book if it weren't for self-involvement and vanity, so that's maybe something to take into consideration. But oh my god. But a picture of Dorian Gray. The Song of Achilles is my favorite book, and I know into it because I do love this book. Oh, immediately 4.3 stars. I think that is fair. Like that matters. But anywho, okay guys, can y'all, if y'all are mad, can you like just shorten it a little bit? I'm going to disagree with the Orange Prize Committee. Girl, who are you? You don't even have a profile picture or a name. Who are you? Okay, all you trolls. Go ahead and tell me what a Philistine I am, how ignorant I am of Greek literature and mythology, and how my failure to appreciate this book reflects on my limitations rather than those of the book. You don't really need to bother defending this book because the masses seem to agree with you. But if you ask me, this is a harlequin, boring Patroclus who wholly infatuated with the impossibly perfect Achilles, who even more impossibly returns Patroclus's passion. Lots of purple prose, lots of love during battles, blah blah blah. I got about halfway through and decided I was finished wasting my time. Stop reviewing things you didn't finish. Stop reviewing whatever. I'm fine with Patroclus and Achilles being in love, but the little complexity, please. Oh, how about some characterization and some relationship tension? Why do they need tension? Why do you want them to have tension? How about the tension in this book is, wait, there is tension. Oh my god, there is. When Achilles is refusing to fight and Patroclus is basically begging Achilles to like go back and fight. How about that part of the book? That is the tension in the relationship. If you need it, if you need tension in a relationship, that's what it is. I think it's weird to require tension for a relationship to be interesting, but it is there. Oh, she didn't finish the book. This person with no profile picture and no name didn't finish the book. Characterization, oh my god, what are you talking about? They are, I don't understand. I feel like, are people not reading the same book as me? Because when I read this book, I am confronted with characterization. All of the characters have very diverse and specific fights that they are having, and very specific morals and just things that they are going through. And the way I have always read The Song of Achilles, and I have read it a few times, and I have read it in a very academic, very analytical way, specifically comparing it to how they act and behave in the Iliad, because that is something I was very curious about. And the way I have always read The Song of Achilles is as a exploration of Patroclus and Achilles' characters. It is an exploration on how Patroclus and Achilles behave in the book, what their relationship was in the Iliad. That's what this stands to do. It's a character study. That's how I've always seen it, and that's why it's always so shocking to me when people say, oh, she just destroyed their characters and destroyed their complexity. It's right there in the book. It's right there in the book. And I think that perhaps some of it gets blurred with the way it was written, in that Achilles is written in a very romantic way, because this is written from Patroclus, who was infatuated in The Song of Achilles, infatuated with Achilles. So, of course, Achilles' flaws are going to be blurred, and this isn't a third-person story. It's not objective. The lines of everything are going to be different than if it was written in third person, where this is the characters are portrayed in the way that Patroclus saw them. And that is going to blur some lines. So, okay. I've read the stuff, obviously, I don't know, I feel like is just the effect of not finishing the story. And if you don't like a story, you don't like a story at the end of the day, but I've been talking about The Song of Achilles for too long. It's a good book. You should read it. If you don't like it, you're wrong. But that's my assessment of it, at least. We're gonna do one more good book, and then we're gonna go into bad ones. So stay with me. This is my cat. She is my cat. She is the best cat. Stay here. She is the best cat. Her name is Zelda. Vets love her. Every time I take her to the vet, the vets always, I can hear them through the door. They leave the room and they say, oh, isn't that just the cutest, most well-behaved, stay here, the most well-behaved cat you've ever seen? Don't you love her? Oh, isn't she the most adorable, most fluffy little cat? You should need to be in frame, darling. You need to be in frame. Okay. You need to be in frame. That looked like I was joking. I was covering your collar. Isn't she the prettiest little? Isn't she the prettiest little thing? And the vets agree. The vets agree. Are you a vet? Is it your cat the vet's favorite? No, she isn't. Mine is. I'll put you down. I'm sorry, girl. My cat. Her Highlander's bed. It's rated 4 stars. Higher than Carmilla. The entire book, the main character is in pain and suffering, and it's something. And this is a series I learned, or it's just like, at one point in the story, she is like in a lot of pain, and he thinks, the main love interest that is, thinks, I know what to do. I'm going to, I shouldn't do a Scottish accent. I'm going to take her down to the cold river, the cold pond down outside her castle, and I'm going to put her in the pond and she's naked, and then I will finger her. And it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Hey, why would you do that? And then, like, the entire book, there's one man who's trying to hunt her down and rape her and force her into a marriage, and he does. Does he rape her? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Why is that the main plot? And like, it's like this, like she's literally just beat up the entire book. The 11th installment of the Highlander Bride series. There's such a great family connection in this one. It was trying to see the way that the story came together. Lindsay Sands definitely wrote a treasure. It's formulaic? In what way was this book formulaic? Was it formulaic in woman abused and runs away from man trying to rape her and force her into marriage, left naked, tries stealing a kilt from a man who's in an icy pond thing, gets tackled to the ground by him, spends her entire time in that castle thinking, oh my god, I'm going to die, and they're going to yada 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 for fakes amnesia. Then ensues pain. Is that formulaic? Is that a formula now? What formula are we following, girly? With that, I'm just going to close the video off here. I hope that I was right about everything I said. I hope that more books writing gets better. I hope that people stop writing books about women being in immense pain and people worshiping it like it's the Bible. Other than that, that's really all I got. Yeah, I hope that you guys think I'm smart, and that is all. Comment down below if you disagree with me. You're wrong, but you feel free to do it. Feel free to disagree with me. I will not agree with you. So that's that. That's the end of the day. That's the end of the video. Good night. Have a nice slumber. Sweet dreams. Don't screw any vampires in your sleep until they die while your husband goes to light his grave on fire or whatnot. And then die. You die. Not in this Nosferatu. Have a nice night, guys. Oh, this is in Spanish. You have the idea that of reading Dostoevsky is heavy. You have the idea that reading Dostoevsky is heavy, boring, and hard. We can make that idea change. Crime and Punishment is a intense and dramatic protagonist for the person. Psychology. Yeah, guys, that's 7 years of Spanish in the making.